and welcome back, friends, to the Franchise Millionaire Show. I'm Andrea Bailey Brown, and I am so excited that you are here and you're listening again. And it means so much that you're taking your time to listen to our show to help us grow our audience and for you to find out about this amazing hidden industry called franchising. So it is my pleasure to host the show and to teach and educate and to help you become a future franchise millionaire. If you are already a franchise owner, our goal is to have you grow even more in your franchise world and to expand through franchising, perhaps invest in other franchises, or if you're a business owner, turn your business into a franchise. So it means so much to us that you are listening and our listenership is growing. It means that this is resonating with you. So grateful that you are here. Now, it's our eighth episode, so I wanted to do something with the number eight in it. The number eight represents some money as well in some cultures, and I am happy to talk to you about this number eight and what we're going to be doing with the eight number. So let's get started. So, one of the things from my story, if you've listened to the other episodes, episode 6 and 7, I believe, where I shared with you how I got into this world of franchising, how it all came about and came to be. Something that comes up all the time when people find out that I've left teaching and went into franchising, the question they'll ask is, well, what franchise did you get into? And naturally, that's the next best question to ask. And I mentioned to them, I have been a multi-unit owner with the Jiffy Lube brand, and people are often very surprised. And I think they're surprised, number one, because if you're looking at me and you see this, I look really glamorous. I love fashion and style. But so that's one reason, if we're being honest. They'll think I was going to say something that I'm in the fashion world and that, which I am in, because you know what, I help people with their fashion and style, give advice from time to time. But I think the second reason is there's not a match. I didn't expect a woman to be in the automotive industry. And I would say the third reason is many people don't know that a brand like Jiffy Lube is franchised. It's franchisable. They have independent owners because Jiffy Lube appears to be very corporate owned, right? So that's what I want to really talk about today is I want to talk about the riches are in the niches or niche, however you say it. So we're going to talk about brands and industries that you would never consider to invest in because you didn't know that they are a franchise. So that's what we are going to be talking about today. And I have 8 industries that I'm going to feature. So that's the number 8 for 8th episode. And we are going to look at these 8 different industries that you would bypass. You would never really think about it. Another thing is, especially if you're listening in and you perhaps have thought, well, I don't want to open a food franchise. And you're like, but then what else is there? Which is a really good question. And that's the question I'm going to be answering for you. It's the what else is out there if perhaps I'm not a big fan or wanting to invest in the food industry. So we are going to look at these 8 different industries that you can maybe look into investing in or that you perhaps should consider. Now, let's start off with numero uno. We're going to start off with the first one. And the first industry that's a niche and outside of the regular food and what we know of in franchising would be childcare and daycare services. So this is where you are going to be, we'd be talking more about looking after children. And this industry is really, really growing and it's always been around. So But what happens is sometimes when we are working like our regular 9 to 5 jobs, we just do things and we never think about them as businesses or from the entrepreneur side. So, with the increasing need for reliable childcare, this industry offers a vital service to families, right? Franchises, or if you're a franchisee, you would provide professional nanny service or childcare programs and educational activities as well. I know when my kids were younger, that was one of the biggest things is where do you leave them? Do you stay home? Do you quit your job? Who quits their job? Are they going to go to a regular daycare or a day home? Many families are considering these. And if you were to get into this industry, you can actually fare really, really well because it's an industry that is not going out of style anywhere soon. So this sector is also it's not only financially promising but also delivers a profound sense of fulfillment by contributing positively to kids' lives. So that's what I really like about this childcare business. If you're looking to invest in the industry though, I would say an average around 500,000. So it is not cheap to invest in, but the rewards can be very, very profitable for you. All right, so that was the niche industry number one. Now let's look at number two. And this is industry is in the wellness and recovery service. Now, if you know anything about me, I'm really strong into self care. And I believe also that we should treat ourselves like a luxury brand. And this industry is becoming more and more mainstream. And we've heard a lot of athletes participate in this industry, and here's why. So, when we're talking about wellness and recovery, we are looking at the interest of the public. We're also thinking about this industry includes a variety of services that helps with physical rejuvenation and mental like relaxation, right? So for instance, when you're thinking about this industry, you've been hearing a lot about cold plunges and ice baths and saunas and cryotherapy, flotation therapy, IV drips, like that is becoming all mainstream, infrared experiences. So that is the wellness and recovery. And this is where a lot of athletes, as I've said, have been already using this. But now the average Joe and Jane are looking into this industry as well, using the services. And that's why it's a $52 billion industry. And it's also growing 6% annually. And we have a brand that we represent, that we sell in this sector, and they're doing around averaging 2 million average in revenues. So really consider this industry. And again, perhaps you've never thought about wellness and recovery, but here we are, right? So another industry. So remember we said you're niche, you're not at the top of your list, but keep making notes if you aren't already doing so. The next one is environmental and waste management. So this industry plays a crucial role in terms of sustainability, offering services like recycling, waste collection, and eco-friendly disposal. Now, it's also a recession resistant industry because we know that the garbage junk collection or picking up of things, it's really going nowhere. And we all have to find ways of disposing of the garbage that we use. So this industry is definitely ideal for those people who are passionate about the environment, passionate about conservation, and looking to make a meaningful impact on the planet. So it's an industry as well that's constantly evolving and emerging to improve what has to do with waste management. Now, it is also a $91 billion industry. Waste is not sexy, but the profits really, really can be. All right, so that was numero trois. let's get into the fourth industry. And this is an industry that I truly enjoy. I've enjoyed the services of this industry. So I would say you need to get your pina colada ready, or in my case, it would be get your daiquiri ready, get your bathing suits packed, get the passports ready to go, because we are going into the travel and cruise franchises. Yes, my friends. Everyone is traveling, especially once the world reopened. We were all ready. We were going stir crazy, and this industry boomed because it's like you just want to experience the world. People wanted to live. They wanted to go see friends and families they hadn't seen for such a long time. So the travel and cruise agency is a really good one to consider. So this year alone, I can't even keep track of all the places I've traveled to. From I've been to St. Lucia, in celebrated New Year's in St. Lucia. I've been into Vancouver, went to Boston for my Harvard program, Florida a couple times for this year already, New York for the US Open, Arizona because I'm part of the trust. So all the places I'm sure there are many places I've not mentioned, but do you need my entire travel schedule? Because I can share it with you. But let's get back to the focus, because when I think about all the traveling that I've done, I use a travel agent to do the bookings, because sometimes it is just a lot to keep track of. And again, I believe in outsourcing my time so that I can spend my time on the things that really, on the $1,000 activities, on the $10,000 activities where I spend my time. Now, if I'm doing something basic where it's a quick trip from Edmonton to Toronto, I may take care of that. But overall, I use travel agencies. So what we found is so specializing in personalized travel planning and cruise bookings. These franchises cater to travel enthusiasts, and there's so many people out there that are travel enthusiasts. And as a franchisee, you would handle every aspect of your client's trips with attention to certain details, booking flights, travel, accommodation, right? So this is a really, really fun, great industry. You're also going to be working with people. They're happy and they are excited. And this sector, I would say, is perfect for anyone who's passionate about travel. Would be great in this industry. So, hey, you've been traveling. Your friends are traveling. Your family, who's booking them? Someone is booking them. Someone is getting paid to do that work. Why not you? So something to look into. Another niche industry would be mental health and wellness. We know that this industry is so important for so many reasons. And the stats in the United States show that 1 in 5 adults have been diagnosed with mental health conditions. And so I really am a proponent for this industry, for people taking care of themselves, and it is always important. Another thing, when we talk about wellness clinics, it could be wellness as the chiropractors, birthing clinics, right? These are some of the different areas and industries that people can actually look into. And definitely this sector focuses on providing mental health services such as counseling, therapy, psychologist support. And one of the significant advantages of mental health franchise is their ability to offer flexible treatment options. So if you're a franchisee in this sector, if you own your franchise, you can also offer virtual consultations, allowing individual to access services from the comfort of their home. So this is also a growing industry as well. All right, so we are at number 5. So that was great. And now let us get into the next one, which is innovative real estate services. And this basically would be combined with, I would say, vacation rental management. While we know there's so many people who have made millions from Airbnb, right? And if you own Airbnb in many different cities or parts, who is managing that for you? Especially if it's out of country, out of city, even if it's where you are, you may want someone to manage all of the bookings. I have used Airbnb services in a few different places. In Ottawa, Canada, also in Portugal, I've used Airbnb, in Aruba. There's a few that I can sort of think about. So it's become very much part of our vernacular. Everyone now knows about Airbnb. So as they're growing and people are building their wealth through this vacation rental world, you can invest, I would say invite. I'm already looking for an invite to the Airbnb people, but yes, you can invest in a franchise in the vacation rental management sector. So as a franchisee, you'd manage short-term vacation rentals and their properties. You'd handle everything from property from the listing to booking the maintenance services for guest services. And we know with the rise of the online booking platforms, more people are choosing to rent vacation homes and apartments instead of staying in traditional hotels. So it makes it an ideal time for you to look at investing in this sector and investing from the franchisee side. So this is something that people don't talk about, right? They talk about, oh, buy an Airbnb and do all of that, but maybe you don't want to buy an Airbnb to start, but you actually want to help to manage it. And so you become like the Airbnb as well. They don't own any properties, right? Airbnb is in a business and they don't own any of those properties. Uber doesn't own any of the cars. So why not model from what they actually are doing, and then you can manage the properties? Because I know so many people own properties and they're out of state, out of province, and they are looking for someone to manage it. So this industry, I would say, is perfect for entrepreneurs interested in the hospitality and the real estate sector, especially in some of those popular destinations. So you can combine your love of hospitality and real estate, etc. So, hey, did you consider this one? Did you say, I've never thought about that? So that is also a great franchise sector that you can, that you can definitely invest in. Now, the next one, number 7, I would say is an industry that I spent many years in as a teacher. And so I know a thing or two about the education and robotics, coding, that entire world where you're working with children. And so as a teacher for many years, it's so interesting. Sometimes when your head is down and you're so singularly focused, you are not thinking about things from the entrepreneur side. So my goal is to have you now start thinking about investing in businesses, and it's not just looking at the industries you're in, but looking at it from the business side as well. So what I noticed was when I was teaching so many parents, because I've taught in some really well-off neighborhoods, that affluent, I would say, is the word, where people can actually, get their kids in different things and they can afford that. But they were having their kids go into a lot of after school educational programs to help increase math and the science, etc. So in the educational, robotics, and coding sector, these franchises, they're really at the forefront of STEM education, offering interactive and engaging classes and workshops for children and teens in areas such as robotics, areas such as coding, and various technology related fields. When we talk about STEM programs, again, we're talking about science, technology, engineering, and math. And so what they're doing in these franchises, they are extending the education, because many times the teachers, as we know, in these schools are not paid enough to do all the things, and so the parents are also, many parents are happy to pay for their kids because they want them to get into some of the right programs and want them just to do better overall. So again, they also not, some of these franchises, what we're finding is that they not only teach technical skills, but they also really kind of booster things such as critical thinking skill and problem solving and creativity and preparing young minds. So again, if you're interested in the education sector, really, really think about it. And if you have never thought about it before, now is the time to say, I see a lot of parents maybe at your school. Where are their kids going? They're going to after school care, after school programs. Why not be a part of that as well? And finally, numero 8, the grand finale. One of the industries that I'm going to focus on is I'm going to focus on the automotive industry, which is where I spent the last 16 years. And so I know a thing or two about automotive. As I started at the beginning, I said a lot of people would never expect that that Jiffy Lube is a franchise, but it actually is. And there's so many other franchises in the automotive sector as well. And one of those that I'm looking at is in the automotive world as well, there are different subsectors that people also don't think about, because you may just see one big building. You can actually go into the oil change sector, you can go into tires, you can also go into car detailing where you wash it and clean them, make them ready to go. You can go into the full care where you do everything. So, and did I say tires as well? You specialize just in the tire. That's an entire sector which does really, really well. So this industry, again, because people always need vehicles no matter what, that's their main way of getting around. And even with the EV vehicles coming in, the electrical vehicles, not much is changing, because it's the pace, and they'll still need some sort of service. So this industry is a really great industry to be in, because it has recurring revenue, it's recession resistant, people are always traveling and needing to get out. So those are the top 8 industries for you to consider. They're not the top 8, I would say they're just 8 different industries that are niche franchise industries that people don't think about, that will take you beyond food. If you're someone that wants to buy a business, you want to get into franchising, but you're not sure what's right for you, and you're not sure what else is out there. This is what else is out there. This is the what else, right? So we have gone through. Let me just take it from the top again and quickly do a summary. So we started off with childcare, daycare, a really great industry. Again, one not going out of style. None of these really are. So that was the first one that we started with. Then we went into wellness and recovery. And with wellness and recovery, we really we're talking about the cold plunging, the sauna, the infrared, the IV drips. Wellness is not cool. It's necessary, right? We need to stay around for a long time. So it has become necessary. And basically some of the things that people have been doing for a long time, it's now like athletes and wealthier people, it's now becoming mainstream. The next one we had was environmental waste management, a $91 billion industry. Waste is so important, because we're going to have waste over and over and over again. And we then went into travel and cruising. I was ready to put my hat on, my sunglasses, the shades. We're ready to go. I'm ready to call my sisters, ready to call my friends. We are going on our next trip. And why not be the franchisee that controls that? We then talk about our mental health, because we all need to stay sane so we can deal with the peoples and enjoy life in spite of the people around us and what they try to do to us to make us not too sane. So mental health, really well needed. And it's so niche, because not many people have figured out that this could be franchised. And then we talked about innovative real estate, vacation rental, Airbnb. You're on the management side, because be just like Airbnb. They don't own the places. You can manage properties for other people who are too busy to manage their own. And finally, wasn't finally, we went on to education, robotics, because that was a field that I spent many years in as a teacher, and I see the need for it and the need for these type of franchises, and we need franchisees to help run these franchises as well. And finally, we ended with automotive. So in the automotive, we talked, there's different sectors. There's oil change, there's tires, there's detailing, full service. And that's some of the niche franchises to think about. Don't go into the world tunnel vision. If you want something, look around. Think about what else is there. Don't just give up on your ideas. Don't just give up on your dreams, people. We've got to keep dreaming. We've got to keep dreaming big and dreaming bigger, because the universe is out there wanting to grant us our wishes, and we must make sure that we keep our spaces open and our minds to all the possibilities that is out there. So let me know which of the top 8 of the 8 that I gave you, which ones you're interested in. Drop us a note. You can find us at bbfranchiseagency.com. We're also on Instagram, LinkedIn. Drop us a note if you've listened, and let us know which of these on the list really appeal to you, and maybe which one we can go into a little bit further. So thank you for listening to the pod today. We appreciate you and appreciate your time, and we will see you again soon. Bye.